Hey, what's going on, you guys? This is Madam 81. I'm coming back to you again. Um, this news article is from CBS News, and it is an update from August 6th. And it says, the title says, handcuffed black man is led by rope down the street by cops on horseback. Okay, first and foremost, I'm gonna just say, bitch, this is why we got cars in the fucking first place, bitch. I don't give a fuck what state you in, bitch. This is wrong. And anybody that says, oh, well, it's the custom of, in Texas, no, fuck that bitch. This is wrong. Period. Point blank, period. You mean to tell me you were so impatient you couldn't wait on a squad car? Fuck out of here. Anyway, we about to get into this video. Let's watch the fuck shit.
All right, police in Galveston, Texas are apologizing after photos depicting a controversial arrest technique ignited outrage in the community. Check out these images that show horse-mounted police officers, who are both white, leading a handcuffed black man down the street using what appears to be a rope. Many on social media called the scene, quote, disgusting and degrading. In a statement yesterday, the Galveston Police Department said this trained technique is considered a best practice in certain scenarios. But the police chief said the officers showed poor judgment in this instance. He said the department has changed its policy to prevent the use of this method. They also apologized for causing the man, quote, unnecessary embarrassment.
Yes.
I don't understand.
Humiliation might be a better word, yeah.
Yeah, they say it's a best practice, but now they're saying they're getting rid of it.
Right.
So,
In what cases, and you cannot wait for a patrol car to get there?
Well, the imagery of that,
Yes.
I just think historically that's
It's just
ridiculous.
such bad judgment.
context matters.
Yes.
Good evening. This is our Western
Okay,
edition.
this is, that's the end of the video. Galveston, Texas. The Galveston Police Department is apologizing for the way officers arrested a black man over the weekend. CBS Houston affiliate KHOU TV reported. The department says two of its officers, who are white, arrested a 43-year-old man for criminal trespass in downtown Galveston. The man was handcuffed and a rope was clipped to the handcuffs before he was led walking down the street by two officers on horseback. Police say he was being taken to a mounted patrol unit staging area. A photo of the arrest was taken and shared on social media. It shows the man with his hands behind his back, walking between the horses and the officers, with one of the officers holding a blue rope. While this technique of using mounted horses to transport a person during an arrest is considered the best practice in certain scenarios, such as crowd control, the practice was not used correctly in this instance, the department said. The officers involved apparently familiar with the man and had been told that he'd been warned against trespassing at the location several times. Galveston Police Chief Vernon L. Hale III said in a statement Monday that first and foremost, I must apologize to the man arrested for this unnecessary embarrassment. Although it is a trained technique and the best practice in some scenarios, I believe our officers showed poor judgment in the instance and could have waited for a transport unit at the location of the arrest. My officers did not have any malicious intent at the time of the arrest, but we are immediately changed the policy to prevent the use of this technique and will review all mounted training and procedures for more appropriate methods. We understand the negative perception of this and believe it is most appreciated to cease the use of this technique. There was no word on whether any disciplinary action is being taken against the officers. When I look at the picture, I saw utter disrespect for another human being. The first thing that came to my mind was this is 2019 and not 1819. Houston NAACP President James Douglas told CBS News. Douglas said the imaging is disturbing because it harkens back to the dark days of the antebellum South. If I pronounced that wrong, my apologies. When black people were forced to walk alongside mounted slave owners during the civil rights movement. Mounted patrol units often invoke fear among peaceful protesters. If this individual had been white, this would have never happened. Facts. And that's the extent of it. Like, I'm tired of people, regardless of where you stand about the situation, about race or whatever, you choose not to deal with it because it's not in your bubble, it's not a part of your life, or you may feel as though you have black friends that gives you a pass. No, that does not give you a pass. It does not. It definitely does not. Again, this was a technique being revised, knowing the history of Texas and slaves, and knowing the history of Texas and what they call immigrants now. I don't call them immigrants, I just call them people, because that's what they are. They're human beings. They're not immigrants. If you want to play the immigrant card, you only need to look in the mirror to find your immigration. Okay? So, and a side note, just because you found New World doesn't mean that it's your world. Doesn't mean that you have a right to invade other people's areas and be, and think that you can just move right in. That does not solidify your claim as an American citizen. That is what they generally call anything else stealing. And when I say this, I don't say this out of negativity. I don't say it out of any type of racism. Me personally, myself, I do not believe people of color can be racist, because in order to be racist, you have to have some semblance of power, which people of color do not have currently, in terms of the laws and policies that are made, the way that finances are distributed, and things of that nature. So we can't be racist. People of color can't be racist, but that's just my opinion. The Galveston Police Department, another group of gang members, in some cases domestic terrorists, that took the extreme approach of transporting the president to jail for what be considered a minor offense, which is trespassing. You know, just trespassing, just being somewhere where you're not supposed to be. I'm pretty sure the police presence alone, when they showed up on the scene, would have been enough for the man to just go about his way. If the intent was to lock him up because he had violated it for so many times, why not wait for a transport unit? Why? Why did they think that this was appropriate? And for the police chief to get up there and lie, blatantly outward lie, I'm calling him a liar, and say, yes, although this is a technique, it was applied in the wrong situation, and there was no malice behind this. Fuck you talking about, and who the fuck do you expect to believe that bullshit? Real is real, and we gonna keep it 100. If the motherfucker was white, you probably would have took him to Burger King. And if you don't understand that, then obviously you haven't been up on the news in the past 10 years. You know, so like, let's stop playing like, oh, you know, it was just a general honest mistake. No, it wasn't a mistake. That shit was done purposely. Purposely. To embarrass and humiliate that man. And I hope that he find a way to take legal action against them, because see, these quote unquote closet racists or assholes or neo-Nazis, whatever the fuck you want to call them, they hide under the guise of, oh, it was just an honest mistake and this, that, and the third. You're too fucking old, and I'm pretty sure you've had at least 3 to 5 years of training, if not, or trained underneath someone that's had over 10 to 20 years of training, to know that that was not the right procedure for that particular incident. It's called judgment. It's called common sense. It was deliberately done to embarrass that man. And it does have some racial implications. And it should not have been done. And since the only way to ever get to people with power is to hit them where it hurt, which is in their wallet, I hope that this man considers taking legal action against them, personally and as a department as a whole. You know, he should sue each officer, and he should sue to the apartment as well. I'm sorry. That's how I feel. No apologies here for that. You know, and you can call it what you want. You can say, oh, it's the race card and this, that, and the third. But you have, like, see, this is the thing. And I need to do a video on this. Let me know if y'all want to see me do a video on race and tensions and stuff like that, and give you a little bit of backstory and the history as I know it to be true. If you do, drop down in the comments, let me know if you would like to see that video, and I will definitely put that out with great detail.